This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, October 7. In Squiz Kids Today, light at the end of the lockdown tunnel, the world's oldest toilet, here come the ashes, and the world's smartest dogs. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
And there was good news on the COVID lockdown front yesterday, as New South Wales became the first state in Australia to hit the target of getting 70% of its residents aged 16 and over fully vaccinated. Coming hot on the heels of the news that overall Australia had managed to get a first jab into the arms of 80% of its adult population, helping to move us further up the world COVID vaccination rankings. Right now, with approximately 60% of the country having received a COVID vaccine, we're about 50th in the world in terms of countries whose population is vaccinated, with countries like the United Arab Emirates, Malta, Portugal, Spain and Singapore leading the pack. The jab milestones mean that lockdowns in New South Wales will end next Monday, including the reopening of shops and restaurants. Squiz Kids in Melbourne, there's hope for you too, with your vaccination rates climbing and climbing. But home learning's here to stay for a little while yet, I'm afraid to say. All this as Melbourne this week beat the world record for the most number of days for a city in lockdown. That tiny, distant glimmer you see in the darkness, Melbourne, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Hang in there.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Israel, where the world's oldest dunny has been discovered. I just love the word dunny, it's so evocative. Archaeologists in Israel are super excited at having dug up a smooth slab of limestone with a hole in the middle of it, convinced they have uncovered an ancient loo. And when I say ancient, I mean 2,700 years old. That's one very old toilet. 2,700 years ago, only very rich people could afford to have a toilet in their house. Most homes didn't have their own toilet, with all of the business having to be done in pots or in public. Pooh to that, I say. I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to photos of the ancient loo. You're very welcome.
Sport time.
Summer is around the corner, and that can mean only one thing in the sporting world: cricket, cricket, and more cricket. And lovers of Test cricket were yesterday on the edge of their seats as it looked more and more likely that the ultimate competition in the cricketing world, the Ashes, would be going ahead this year as planned. What is the Ashes? It's the name given to a series of test matches played between Australia and England every 2 years. It's called the Ashes because the trophy is a tiny little urn believed to contain the ashes of a cricket bale from one of the first matches the Aussies and English ever played, back in the late 1800s. So there you go. This year's Ashes tour would see England's national team travel to Australia and tour about our country, but COVID has complicated plans. The hope, though, is that the Aussie and the English cricket authorities are close to announcing that the tour will go ahead. Game on, people.
Animal Kingdom.
Now, everyone thinks their dog is a genius, especially if they sit when you ask them to or come when they're called. But research released this week has found 6 actual genius dogs that were able to learn and remember the names of toys at a similar rate to a young toddler. animal behaviour scientists from Hungary spent 2 years searching the globe for pooches with excellent memories. 6 made it into what came to be known as the Genius Challenge, where owners taught their dogs the names of 12 new toys over the period of 1 week. Then, on a YouTube live stream event, the researchers called out a toy's name and the cluey canines raced into another room and retrieved it. They were still able to remember the toy name 2 months later. And if you're thinking, hang on, my dog can do that, they're still looking for quick-witted pups for future research. All the details are in the video link in your episode notes.
Q&A call-out.
Hands up if you've read one of Andy Griffith's and Terry Denton's Treehouse books. I thought so. I love them too. How do they keep coming up with new ideas for all those different levels? In a couple of weeks, the 143-story Treehouse will be published, and to mark the occasion, Andy has agreed to do a Squiz Kids Q&A. But instead of sending in questions, we're asking you, Squiz Kids, to send in your brightest idea for a Treehouse level. If you could create the craziest, most fun Treehouse level, what would it be? Send in your suggestion in 250 words or less, using your best descriptive writing skills and or a drawing to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. When Andy takes the hot seat, he'll judge the best ones and award prizes. Woohoo!
Squiz Kids for Schools.
Attention all teachers! We're absolutely thrilled that so many of you are signing up for a free trial of Squiz Kids for Schools. With daily, differentiated literacy activities designed by a teacher, just for you, it's a brilliant way to make more of the podcast in your classroom. We've also got a weekly Squiz Kids shortcut just for subscribers, with comprehension and extension activities. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to squizkids.com.au and sign up for free access for the rest of Term 4. Your students and their parents will thank you for it.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the famous series of cricket test matches held every 2 years between Australia and England? That's right, it's the Ashes. Question number 2. In which country have archaeologists dug up a 2,007-year-old toilet? Yeah, it's Israel. Question number 3. What sort of animals have researchers in Hungary been using to test the intelligence of pets? You got it, they're dogs.
Shout-outs.
It's October 7. The Nobel Prize for Literature will be awarded today in Sweden. And if you sign up for Squiz Kids for Schools, you can access the special shortcut episode we've created on the Nobel Prizes. Plus, it's a special day today for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday. Anderson from Hornsby, Georgina from Carisbrook, Jonathan from Woodhill, and a father from Asquith. And belated shout-outs are being given out all this week to make up for all of you kids we missed during the school holidays, for which I reckon we're going to need the help of the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it. And it's a happy belated birthday to Sam, Tilly, Margot and Rosa, all from Annandale. Izzy and Lucy from Springwood, Ronan from Northwood, Sam from Norman Park, Eva and Nate from Coffs Harbour, Ashna from Invermay, Henry from Craigburn, Quaid from Dubbo, Charlotte from Sydney and Charlotte from Waverley, Connor from West Wallsend, Justin from Fairfield Heights, Leonardo from Paddington, Xavier from Castle Hill, Lila from Buninyong, Hugh from Wandoan, Joshua from Camden, Michaela from Raby, Daniela from Roseville, Nash from Albany Hills, and Jaden from Chatswood. And finally, because our friends in Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney are still in lockdown, we're sending out home learning herograms. Herograms today go to Class 5-6L from Leonay Public School, to Grade 6H at St Mary's Catholic School in Mansfield, and to Class 3H at Tanilba Bay Public School. A herogram also to all the students and teachers at Giralang Primary School in Canberra. Judd and Bo would like to send a herogram to teachers and students in Prep and Class 3-4L at Ararat West Primary School. Annabelle in Class 4G at OLAR Catholic Primary School in Waitara would like to send her teacher, Mrs. Kudair, belated wishes for her birthday, and also birthday wishes to Miss Dewing of Class 4D at Lily Pilly Public School. And finally, a shout out to all the students and their teachers at Inverell Public School who, happily for them, are not in lockdown. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, we'd like to send a home learning herogram, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.